Hello and welcome to Techiechap. In today's episode, I am taking a look at Redox OS. Now, Redox OS, as it says here on the website you're looking at currently, is a Unix-like operating system written in Rust, and it aims to bring the innovations of Rust to a modern microkernel and full set of applications. Now, there are a few new operating systems out there currently being put together, and Redox OS is one that is being constructed using Rust code. Now, this is in a similar fashion to how Pop! OS is currently being rebuilt. Indeed, some of the developers on this OS are currently working on the new Pop! OS as well. However, the Redox team are keen to stress that Redox OS is not another Linux BSD clone. So what does Redox mean? Well, Redox apparently is a chemical reaction, reduction oxidization, that creates Rust. And as Redox is an operating system written in Rust, it makes sense. It sounds like Linux too. I quite like that reasoning. Now, given that this operating system is written in Rust, that does give a certain amount of advantages over the typical means of writing an operating system. And that includes Rust's ability to check and place rules around the use of memory. Now, memory errors are a major source of security vulnerabilities and stability issues. So, the possibility is there for Redox OS to be a very stable and secure operating system. Redox OS is also a microkernel based operating system. That is, the OS itself uses the bare minimum an operating system needs to run. So device drivers, file systems and protocol stacks are then run like user programs on top. If, say, a device driver crashes, then rather than crashing the whole system around it, the kernel itself will continue to run in the background and provide services. Now, this type of operating system design philosophy is vastly different to what is currently out there. Most operating systems have a monolithic structure. However, the design philosophy of a microkernel is not necessarily a new one. In fact, one of my very first computers, the rather wonderful Amiga 500, which I had back in the late 1980s, actually ran a multitasking microkernel called exec, and that ran in just 13 kilobytes. And that was a fantastic system. I might be wearing my rose-tinted glasses there. The file system used by Redox is also worth a mention. Redox file system is a Linux-compatible file system, and it has a lot of similarities with ZFS. It supports disk encryption, and it also uses the standard Unix file attributes. So, to try out Redox, all you need to do is go to the redoxos.org page, and there is a quick start guide that you can click on, and then click on latest release, and there it shows you that nice display of Redox running on actual hardware. And I should mention that I am running this in a VM, which is the recommended way to run Redox currently. However, if you would like to try running Redox on hardware, then please consider contributing to their hardware compatibility matrix, which can be done here on the website. So, to download Redox, you go to Images, and they recommend downloading the live image, which is what's running here. This is the live image I have running on a VM on my machine here. Included with Redox OS are a few applications. There are a few little games here, including Doom, Free Doom, Neverball, Neverput, and DOSBox. And then we have NetSurf as our very basic web browser, a terminal, a file manager, a basic text editor, and we have a calculator, very small calculator. Let's just close this down, close that down. And then we have a picture viewer, and then we've got a periodic table, which might be useful to someone out there. And then we have Sodium, which is a VI type editor. So NetSurf is actually a very basic internet browser. It hasn't actually had an update, at least from what I can tell on the NetSurf website, since 2020. So this really is kind of the most basic or one of the most basic web browsers you can get. However, it does do a fairly decent job of rendering simple pages like the redox.org web page. Functionality in this ISO is very limited at the moment, and of course if you are running it as a straight ISO, that does mean that you wouldn't be able to download any applications. So applications, yes indeed, there is an application manager and it is called PKG. So if we just type PKG, you can see there is the package management utility for Redox OS. So if you wanted to actually install and try the various applications which are available for Redox OS, then you would simply find the name of that application, which you can do through the Redox OS website, then use PKG and install to install that application. You can also use PKG upgrade to upgrade all the installed packages as well. So it's a fairly okay package management system. It doesn't have some of the in-depth functionality that say PKG on FreeBSD has, so it's not to be confused with that. However, it's good that it's there, and it's great that if you were to install this on a laptop, or you were to install this onto a hard drive in a VM, then you can have a good play around with it and try the various applications that are currently available in a growing list of applications available in the Redox library. So why do we need another operating system? There are just so many out there. We have so many Linux variants, we've got FreeBSD, we've got Windows, we've got Mac OS. Why do we need another one? Well, I guess there's a couple of things to say about that. One is that there is an old saying that goes, variety is the spice of life. And if things in the operating system world aren't changing, improving or evolving, then the whole thing just begins to feel stale. And it has been argued that to a certain degree, this is where we are at right now with the current mix of operating systems out there. There seems to be a general acceptance that the only way an operating system can be successful is if it looks and behaves like a Windows or Mac type environment. But neither environment really offers the perfect experience to the user. The underlying OS subsystems have now become so large and so much more complicated to support. Patching and managing the various layers of these systems is a difficult task, which in turn leads to the possibility for more and more security problems. So for me, it's encouraging when a team like Redox comes along and they are developing something from scratch, and they are introducing something that is completely new in that they are using the Rust code to build this. It's encouraging that this team seem to have the vision, expertise and the determination to shake up things, offer something new, build from scratch, and perhaps improve the desktop and server landscape for anyone who wants to break convention and try something different. So this has been my little look at Redox OS 0.80. It's a fantastic in development operating system and really looking forward to seeing it get to version 1. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please click on like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.